Okay, almost done finishing Nathael on Torment 2. Hope he's going down pretty soon. Oh, come on, guy. Get him. Oh, yeah, we got him. And the loot drops aren't that crap for a change. So, good job, man. We finally got him. Long fight. Took ages. Okay, hello you guys, I'm Dreamon aka The Boughton Waffle, and this is a review of Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3. Now I know this is a little bit late, but I've been quite addicted to it, and I also wanted to be sure I've reached level 70 first with the Crusader class in order for me to judge every aspect of the game, since for example Adventure mode will only unlock once you reach level 70. Now I will try to explain everything of the expansion, but first I got to explain to you guys what is new since patch 2.0, because as you will see they will have completely changed the whole game mechanics. Since patch 2.0 has been here, there has been a lot of major changes to the game, like for example that the whole auction house, both the real money auction house and normal auction house, have been completely deleted. Now okay, I can understand why they deleted the real money auction house, because it was an effort by Activision and Blizzard to exploit this game. But like any other exploit, it ruined the game completely. Now on the other hand, I don't really see how the normal auction house had to be deleted as well, because as long as they made some minor tweaks to it, so that the outrageous prices and gold sellers wouldn't be a problem anymore, it would have been fine. But I guess they just wanted to take the easy way out by fixing things by deleting it completely. But in the end, for me personally, it is better that it's completely gone than to have a broken auction house. So I can live with it, I guess. But now that I'm done talking about the auction house, I can tell you some other things that have seen a major overhaul, which are for example the difficulty settings, the crafting and the loot drops. Now the first one of those has been changed completely, because as you may have known from my last video of Diablo 3, where I showed you that there were made some changes in the difficulty settings already. That for example Inferno difficulty had 10 monster levels that increased with each difficulty setting. Now they have changed all difficulties. Now there is no more Hell, no more Nightmare or no more Inferno. Now there is only Normal, Expert, Master and Torment, which on its turn has also 6 different graduations of difficulty, and to be honest I got to admit that it feels a little bit better now. Now the loot drops have had a major change as well, because if they deleted the auction house and most items become account bound, then you need to have a different system than the random loot drops they had before.
Could we find more like that?
What they did now is that they've changed it so that only your class related items drop. So if you're playing as a barbarian or a crusader for example, then only items from melee classes that use those same statistics like strength, vitality and resistance will drop for you. Although I've seen items for a barbarian only drop as a crusader. Anyway, the last thing that changed is the crafting, which is more useful to say the least. Now you have greater control over your item creations, and training in crafting isn't something that's only been a privilege for the extreme rich players in the game anymore. Oh, and I forgot to mention one tiny change. The Paragon levels don't have a level cap anymore, so now you can freely level your character into infinity and beyond. Okay, now let's take a look at what the expansion brings us, shall we? Now what might seem like a no-brainer and pretty easy to guess is that there has been a level cap increase from level 60 to 70 and a new act has been added. However, these extras brings also a lot of new changes with them, because for example when you reach level 70 you will unlock a new mode called Adventure mode. To explain to you in a simple way what Adventure mode is, I could say that it is a mode where you can play as co-op or solo throughout all major events from the campaign mode. These events are called bounties and will give you a lot more chance to find rarer loot, and if you complete 5 bounties in each act, then you can get a little something extra.
In return for completing them, you will be rewarded with powerful items. Good luck, Nephilim. Sanctuary has need of you.
So you can basically teleport from bounty to bounty without having to deal with all the fuss in between. However, it doesn't stop there for Adventure mode, because you will be able to open Nephilim Rifts with an item you find throughout some of the bounties. These Nephilim Rifts are basically a separate mode where you have to kill a certain number of enemies in order to let a Rift Guardian spawn. And when you defeat that Rift Guardian, you will drop something called blood shards, along with other valuable loot. Now those blood shards can be used as a currency with a merchant next to the Rift entrance, where you exchange them for rare loot. However, this is one of the first problems I got with the game, and that's that these rare items from the merchant only seem to be just rare, nothing else. No chance on legendaries whatsoever.
Someday perhaps, when I'm rich.
So I think it's better not to waste your time on the Nephilim rifts if you're out on the blood shards alone. Anyway, since I was talking about merchants, there is a new merchant in town as well, with a new artisan which you can train in, called Mysticism. This allows you to enchant items and transmorph your items their looks, just like in World of Warcraft or Guild Wars 2. You can also use this artisan to change stats on your items that you do not like, which can be quite useful when you find an item that has good stats, but just that one or two totally useless stats on it that doesn't make the item appealing enough to equip. And I got to say that it is a really nice addition to the game. Now Act 5 will, as you may or may not know, revolve around Methael, the Reaper of Souls, or as we call him in one simple word, Death.
Death stalks you at every turn. So, Death!
That's only the cat.
Oh, Death!
That's Maggie again, Grandpa.
Oh, where were we? Death!
Malthael.
To make a long story short, now that Diablo has been beaten and trapped in the Dark Soulstone, Methael wants to use this opportunity to get rid of humanity since he thinks that we're a cancer in this world. Which I find hard to disagree with, to be honest, lol. Anyway, it is your job to stop him and his minions forever. Which sounds kind of impossible because we all know that you cannot really kill Death itself. That's why it's called Death. And believe me, the fight against Methael is one that requires some skills and thinking in order to defeat him. So I welcome this challenge with open arms. Anyway, to sum it up simple, Act 5 adds a nice addition to the story and adds quite a few hours of fun to the game. In total, the content of this expansion is not too bad, but it wouldn't be complete without a new class, of course. The Crusader, something everybody has been watching forward to, and perhaps even the most anticipated part of the entire expansion, perhaps even greater than the Death Knight in World of Warcraft. Now this class is the Holy Warrior, aka the Paladin of the game, and this class uses holy magic in order to smite your foes and bring fear to the enemy, or something like that. Anyway, it was for me the very first thing I tried out in the expansion. I didn't even care about the new Act 5. I just wanted to start leveling the Crusader, and I got to say that this is exceptional behavior for me because I absolutely despise leveling additional characters in RPG games. I usually just stay with one class, and if the game doesn't have enough endgame content, then I'm out of it. But with Reaper of Souls, the curiosity for the Crusader class was just too great to resist, and that already says a lot, my friends. This class can do some powerful attacks, and for a melee class it is highly versatile, meaning that you have a lot of options in terms of attacks, unlike the Barbarian class, where you're just stuck with mostly melee based attacks. Now the Crusader has a lot of options to attack with either melee or range attacks. It is even possible to spawn your own minions. Some of the more powerful attacks are, for example, a beam that comes out of the heavens to burn your enemies, being able to create a vacuum explosion around you, or just jumping towards the heavens to come back crashing down on your enemies. Or if that isn't enough, how about calling in a meteor to slam into your enemies? The Crusader has it all, even the bubble that is known from the Paladin class in WoW, although in Diablo 3 it comes in the form of a law, which are activated passive abilities. In total, this class won't be a disappointment. It has everything you can desire from a melee class, and that's why it has become my new favorite class. Okay, let's see what final verdict of this game is. I personally think that the expansion brings a lot of new stuff to the world of Diablo 3, including a new act, a new artisan, a new class, and a new game mode. But you do have to keep in mind that many of the major changes to the game mechanics, like crafting, difficulty settings, and loot drops, were already added to the game in patch 2.0. So I don't really know if 40 euros or $50 is a justified price for this. That's the price of a totally new game, and I don't think that this expansion adds enough for that price. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the expansion is bad, because it's actually great, but I just don't think that this is a good price for it. So if you're able, try to find it cheaper in a key shop. You can actually save over $10 on it. Other minor flaws are, for example, the somewhat crappy loot drops like I explained earlier, especially what you get in return for your blood shards. So if you're hunting for legendaries, you will be quite busy for ages. But this is something they can easily tweak with a patch, so it's not the major flaw. Anyway, the story of Act 5 is interesting as well, so people who are looking for a good bit of extra campaign modes within the lore of Diablo 3 won't be disappointed. The end boss Methiel is actually a challenge for a change, so they made some great changes to the vanilla game with both the latest patch and this expansion, so now it is actually a game you can enjoy the full potential of. My name is Dreamon, the Belgian Waffle. I've been your host for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys next time. By the way, if you guys are able, please share and favorite these videos if you're already a subscriber. It would help me out a lot.